Hello, my name is Noemi Banchi and we are broadcasting from Springwood, Australia. And today we are going to talk about positive thinking. And I would like to ask you just for a moment to think to reflect, to consider what do you think about positive thinking? Nowadays we can hear this. It's well known. Oh, positive thinking, yes. But people just say the words and they don't know how to do it. Well, this is what we learn in metaphysics. And all the information is in this book, Pillars of Metaphysics by Ruben Cedeño. And as you see, this is the cover of the book. We can see that at the bottom of the title, there are four subtitles. One is mentalism, inner being, seven rays, and the violet fire. So we are going to talk about the first thing, the first pillar. So positive thinking is metaphysics. Oh, what is metaphysics? In a nutshell, it's about positive thinking. But if we say the term is mentalism. And what is mentalism? Mentalism, the principle of mentalism is the first pillar of metaphysics. Metaphysics start from the mind, mental. And the first thing learned and considered within the causation quadrant is what you think, what you feel, what you decree, and what you do, what you act, is manifested. So positive thinking is about what we think. And we can think many things. And what happens is I'm going to say something maybe rude, but if your life sucks, is because of your thoughts are negative, your feelings are negative, your words are negative, and your actions are negative. And that's why your life is not good. That's why people suffer. And this is the first thing that Gautama, prince of Kapilavastu, he was Gautama Buddha. He realized that people suffer. That's the first thing. But he didn't stop there. Then he realized that, there is a cause of suffering. And that is the ignorance that what you are thinking right now, it can change your life. So this causation quadrant, let's see in more detail. Quadrant, why? Four things. Causation, because it's the cause of your suffering or your happiness. And this is thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. Oh, why I'm so unhappy in my job? Because your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and actions. Why you are so happy with your partner, in your relationship? Again, because your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions. And everything in your life. Do you realize that by knowing, by putting this into practice, you have the key of the solution of all the issues that happen in your life. Issues, because in metaphysics we don't say problems, or any issue. This is the power that you have. And what are you doing with this? Why you are still crying and suffering? Well, because there are two causation quadrants. One is celestial and the other is the toxic one. And what's the difference? Both are composed of thought, feelings, words, and actions. The only difference, which is a huge difference, is that the celestial is positive. So the positive thoughts, yes, I can do it. Positive feelings, yes, I like my city, I love these people. Positive words, you're always phrasing and being positive, and positive actions. Now, what is the toxic? Is the opposite. Negative thoughts, negative feeling, oh no, those people who are, how are you today? Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, not too bad. Those kind of toxic people. Well, now that we know that the key is here, this is what Jesus says. Be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Heaven, Father, and you is like two completely different things. But in reality, if we see this image, you might better understand what Jesus said. So in the image is your GPS to understand your inner being. Have you ever asked you or wonder, who are you? You are spirit, soul, and body. And your spirit is represented in that image with this body of light. And this is what Jesus said, Father, your spirit. Then consciousness is your soul, what you are aware of, and your body is your personality, is what you call yourself you. I'm Noemi, my personality. My thoughts, feelings, vitality, and physical, this. Now, the personality is full of flaws, error, make mistakes all the time. But if you focus on your spirit, then you can connect with the perfect state of you. And you don't have to go anywhere to find God or a Father or your spirit, because it's within you. Where you are is within you all the time. You just need to sit down away from every distraction, phone, partner, kids, job, your house chores, everything put away, and just focus within you and start observing, what are you thinking? Saint Germain says, where your attention is, there you are. What your attention is upon, that you become. How or why are you sick? Why you are with not money at all? why you are suffering because you cannot do what you want to do is because you put your attention on the illness, the lack, the suffering. And that's what you become. So this is your GPS, because every time you look at this image, it's going to guide you straight away to focus on you and to realize, what are you thinking? Metaphysics begins from the mind upwards. Here, mind. Everything is the mind. Everything is here, and you can change whatever you want. Or you can improve, you can increase or improve what your state is right now. Metaphysics begins from the mind upwards. And thoughts are things. And people might read this and then continue. But what I'm saying is, only the act of thinking of something you attract to yourself. If you talk about war, this is what you will attract. More war. Illness, you will bring all the illness in winter, summer, any season to your life, to your experience. And the way I explain this is, can you, this is Saint Germain says, can you move your hand? Yes. How can you do that? Well, you move your hand because you have muscles, bones, nerves, and you think. So first is the thought, and the thought commands your body. So what I'm saying is, you are the consciousness in that body, and you are telling your mind to command your body. And you know what? People, because are ignorant, they think that if they don't see it, that they are already healed or prosperous. The thinking is not going to change anything, and is the other way around. First is the thought, and then the action. And this, what is this? A newborn, yes. And that image, everyone once upon a time was a newborn. One is born with a crystalline brain, like the crystal skull at the British Museum in London, UK. So when you were born, you didn't have any information at all. You were crystal. And if I want to go back to find this image. So what happened is, you were born, and when you were born, you were alive. And that life comes from where? From your presence. So that presence gives you life. So that's your heart beating. Heart. Okay. Then you start creating, like this phone. I gave this example. Imagine that you as a newborn, your mind is like this phone. And what do we have inside? Well, we have different applications. Within one of these applications, do you have Facebook? And when you open Facebook, what is the first thing you see? what's on your mind. So what I'm trying to say here is your mind is like your phone, is full on things, and all of the things you were putting in with different information that you receive from your surrounding, your environment, since you were born. And you might say, but Noemi, I don't remember when I was born. No, but your brain was absorbing all that information. I just bring some examples here. Your personality, our personality. So when I was born, I didn't have a name. My dad said, let's call her Noemi. In Spanish, Noemi, by the way. Noemi, okay. I have my name. So Noemi Banchi. Then, through the years, 7 years, 14 years, 21 years, now 41. Oh my God. 41, but I'm living my 42, something like that. I don't know about the age. I'm getting confused. So, my personality. I'm extrovert, people person. Well, my personality also, I'm a woman. My profession. I decided to become a physiotherapist. Many things. I don't know what many things I can say about my things like I like reading, I like books, I like to go to cinema. I love to go to the opera, see the opera house. Places where you live. I live in a house and I don't pay rent. Relationship. I have a partner, my mom, my dad, I have siblings. I am a sister, I am auntie, I am a friend, I am a colleague, I am a neighbor. How educated we are. Well, I went to primary school, secondary, university, and this is the thing. Some people, you can be very well educated, but what about are you open-minded? Are you, let's say, are you, what is the word? Open to discover or to learn new things, or you are the person who thinks that knows everything? If you are a person who thinks that you know everything, your glass is full. And what happened with new information? Because it's full, the information doesn't come in. But if your glass is empty, then you can learn things. And this is what an open-minded is. Let me see, let me try. What is this about positive thinking? Our appearance, how elegant we are, the style you have. So for example, I choose to wear colors of the rainbow. Today is Thursday. I chose a green dress. And every day I use different colors. I wear different colors. I was always like that? No. In my process, I learned that if I wear black, I will attract accidents, suffering, poverty, illness. So I said, no, I don't want those things. So I stopped wearing black clothes and I started wearing colors. How healthy we are. I have an example. And the example is my mom. When I grew up with her, and I always heard her saying, I'm healthy. Always she said, no, don't talk to me about illness. I don't like to watch movies about illness. And yeah, she is healthy and strong as she can be. And she is more than 80 now. And how prosperous we are. If I have to give you an example about myself, and sorry, I talk about myself because it's the person I know the most, but you can think this about yourself. Prosperous. I was born in Argentina. I came to Australia in 2018. And at some point, everything I had in Argentina, I had a house, I had a profession, a job, I was able to travel, I had a car, I had clothes, I had food in the fridge, I had electricity, water at home, gas. And what happened is one day I decided to move. Like I said, everything there, alive, no? Like you said. And when I came to Australia, my house was in Argentina, my job was in Argentina, the gas, the electricity, my car was in Argentina, everything was in Argentina. And I started from scratch. Now, what happened is, and this is what my partner said to my mom, Argentina, Australia. I don't know if you are aware of the difference of currencies and difference of, etc. And he said to my mom, I don't know what Noemi was thinking to come to Australia because of the life here is so expensive. And this is what he said. This is in his mind. But I never thought about Australia is expensive, or how I'm going to live. From my mind, those kind of thoughts never appear. What I thought is, I had a house, I had a job, I was a physiotherapist. If I had all of these things in my mind, I can have it here. Yes, I'm not going to say that I have that in the first day, but let me tell you, from 2018 until now, I'm a physiotherapist. I got my registration. I'm working. I have a house. I have electricity. I have food at the table. I have a car. Thank you, Father. So, prosperous. And how much we forgive. These things about, I am the kind of person that I cannot forget. These kind of things really sooner or later is going to make you suffer. How much you are able to forgive? And the answer is, Jesus said, 70 times 7. 70 times 7. So, a lot. Every time, everything. And these are some examples of some things, what we call archetypes. I give him first the examples and then we are going to see the definition. But what can you see here? A person with poor health. Um, on top, homeless. On the side, a person alone. The next photo is someone who is not trying anymore. And then at the bottom, someone sad. But what happened with all of these things? In metaphysics, we learn that we can use the power. You have no power over me. You're going to tell your mind, you have no power over me. When I was my first year in Australia, when I told you I didn't have money to pay my rent, I said, okay, this is in my mind. So I'm going to say, you have no power over me. And I said, I had to repeat to myself, and the money came. My partner said, Noemi, do you need money to pay your rent? And I said, yes, take it. I don't accept it. This is an attitude that you are not going to accept that. The other day, I was in the clinic, I was working. Some people, let's say 50% of my colleagues were sick, so they weren't able to work. So someone came and I said, you are next. And you said, you have no power over me. I am health. And I said like that. So my attitude is, don't bring me these things. I don't accept it. And I'm still healthy. Like this. You have no power over me. And don't misunderstand. This is not about the person. Sometimes I explain this to people and they said, yes, not to the person. You are saying that to the idea, to the thought. You're not going to say you have no power over me. And if to the person is to the idea. So your mind reject that. And instead, we need to, if you have, I have this mouse in my hand. In the physical world, if I have a mouse and I don't want the mouse, I said, I take it and still have empty hand. In your mind is not the case. So we need to, I touched something. So in your mind, it doesn't work like that. So when you say you have no power over me, you start thinking of something the opposite. So if it's about you are going to be sick, or you are going to think the opposite, like these people, healthy. What is this example? I see there money, a family going to travel, nice clothes, with their own plane. My God. Okay, so start thinking, I am prosperous. I never thought that here in Australia is expensive. Things are expensive. Never. Not in Argentina, never, because it doesn't cross my mind. In a relationship. And this is kind of, when you are in a relationship, people might feel alone as well. Oh, my partner doesn't understand me, doesn't listen to me. Being in a relationship doesn't mean that you will feel fulfilled. And being alone or loneliness is a state of your mind. I never feel like I am alone. People ask me, oh, did you came to Australia alone? And I say, no, with my soul. Or sometimes they say, did you come with someone else? Yes, I came here with my soul. That's it. I'm always, I don't feel I am alone. Never, never, never. There is no failure. Never fail. The only thing you can do is quit, give up. But if you don't give up, you can try, and one day you will get that result. In terms of my registration as a physiotherapist, my first attempt, 3 exams in one go, failed. I remember I was in Melbourne, in front of in the art gallery, the National Art Gallery in Melbourne, and I was in front of this artwork of Hercules, and I received the message, fail, fail, fail. Do you think I said, oh, well, I failed, I'm going to give up, I'm not going to try again? And I said, I sat down, I breathed, and I had the act to just say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start studying again. And then I got a job, I went to 1 exam, passed, 2nd exam, passed, 3rd exam, passed. And then here I am with full registration. And sad, those people who you ask, oh, how are you today? I'm so tired. They need to ask permission to one foot to move the other foot. Well, you are going to start thinking, smiling. First thing, smile. Life is too short. And this mentalism, this principle is, it doesn't work on its own. There are 7 universal principles. Mentalism and cause and effect. Because what the cause and effect is, your thought is the cause, and the effect is what you are going to see outside. You are going to see your health. You are going to see your prosperity in how much money you have in your bank account. You are going to see, smile in your happiness. That is cause and effect. Vibration and rhythm, polarity and generation, and correspondence. I will love to talk about the 7 universal principles, but today I just want to focus on one. And if you understand and put into practice one, you are putting in practice all of them. Because of correspondence. What you think, you manifest. But we know the causation quadrant. What you think, you feel, you say, and you do. And another way to say is, your thoughts are reflected in your words. So supposedly. So we're supposed to say what we think, not the other way around, thinking and then what I said. And what we feel is what we do, and not the other way around, like, oh, I hit a wall and then I realize that I had a fracture. No, I take all the power away, but I see in the clinic people with a fracture because they hit a wall because of anger. And Hermes Trismegistus, he codified the 7 universal principles for the first time. And this is the photo of Siena Cathedral in Italy. And I wrote in bigger what you can read underneath the image. Hermes, Mercury, Trismegistus, contemporary of Moses. Have you read the Kybalion? Well, the Kybalion is when all these principles are explained. Now, Hermes didn't invent or didn't create the 7 universal principles. It's like Thomas Edison didn't invented the electricity. He found the way to reproduce the electricity. Or yes, who else? I don't know. Galileo Galilei, he said, the earth is not flat, it's round. He didn't invent the earth, he just discovered and then explained to other people. So Hermes did the same. He explained these 7 universal principles. And we can see this Jumbo Lognes Hermes. It's a sculpture and is really is wise to have one, so just to remember, because it has some details that Ruben explains about, for example, his index. Have you been to the museum in Melbourne Museum? You can see a huge Hermes there, left hand side of the entrance, huge, and also there is a restaurant called Hermes. Well, this Hermes, as Ruben says, his index finger is pointing towards the sky, upwards. Why? To put your attention on the law of one. Or the law of one. Or if you can call God, one. The wind hat, wings with wings. Well, that represents practicing the 7 universal principles. One flies beyond the mind. Mind was created to think. But in reality, if you go up, metaphysics starts from the mind beyond. So go over that. Connect to your inner self. The image, the GPS we saw. The winged feet. And what's that? Well, you can walk without touching low vibrations. And if you want an example, the better example I can think of right now is Mother Teresa of Calcutta. She was working with sick people and she was very healthy, fit as a fiddle. And the caduceus represents the Kundalini, which is the union of the 2 polarities and the enlightenment. It's what it's called the middle way in Buddha Dharma, Buddha's teaching. We don't call Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, Buddha's teaching. Like Gautama explained, the middle way. Don't go to the extremes, stay in the middle. 3 types of programming is, just to explain that. The middle way is the way to solve or what is the word I want to say? So Gautama said, people suffer. And then there is a cause of suffering, ignorance. So study metaphysics. And then what? Well, the middle way. Stay in the middle. Don't go to the extremes. There are 3 types of programming in the unconscious. You know that we are humans, we're supposed to think, but not everybody thinks. Have you seen a advertisement and then it happened to me the other day? What was it? I think it was about an ice cream. I love ice cream. I saw an advertisement of ice cream. The next thing what I wanted is an ice cream. Why is that? Is your unconscious. Do you know that part of your mind? Let's see what the Cambridge Dictionary says. It's the unconscious is the part of your mind that contains feelings and thoughts that you don't know about. And that influence the way you behave. Your physical pain, your bad relationship with someone, your situation is because of is there in your mind, and that influences your behavior. If when you were a child, let me put this into an example. If you were a child, and when you were a child, your mom or anyone around you told you, if you are with a sick person, you will get sick, what do you think is going to happen? If you are next to someone who just sniff or cough, you think, oh, they might be sick, I will be sick. And the next thing happen is next day you have sore throat, cough, flu, whatever. The same to the opposite. If your parents are rich and you were born in a wealthy family, unless you think the opposite, that cost of living crisis or whatever, unless you think that, you will be a prosperous person as well. So these three types of programming are archetypes, images, and crystallizations. Programming. Remember when we compare our mind with a phone, like it's a phone? Well, let's see what software, what applications we have in our mind. So first of all, an archetype. The mental archetypes are forms created by the mind originating things, situations, and experiences. I have examples, a lot. Let's see. Yes, and I want to show you this image. Oh, yes. And I know this because of Ruben, because Ruben said that. I went to Spain, to Madrid, and I saw this sculpture from the train I was traveling. I said, oh, yes, The Lady of the Manzanares by Manolo Valdés. It's exactly that. Those archetypes around you, the mind. Well, all around is wherever you go, these archetypes go with you. Exactly as this what Manolo Valdés did with this sculpture. All these archetypes are within you. So let's start with a toxic mental archetype. Violet. So what is called domestic violence. It can be physical, can be verbal. Now, either part, because always there are two parts in this situation, either part accept this archetype. Let's say the abuser and the victim is an archetype. Maybe they grew up like that. So when you are living like that, and I say this because the other day I met someone like that, and I when you try to give them and the end of the story, what can be like death. But if you try to help them, they will say, oh no, but then he reflects, and then he asks me for forgiveness, and then we have a good time, or he's my father, and I just keep going. So they accept the situation. The abuser and the victim is a toxic archetype. Alcohol, and not like, oh, alcohol, like people who have the toxic archetype of alcohol is good because it makes me forget and I have a good time, so I go with my friends and I drink. I drink vodka because it's cheaper, and this is what my father told me to do, that I need to be strong, I need to fight so people can respect me, and then I drink because I'm suffering. And this is like a party. Let's go for a party to drink. And they are suffering. This is a toxic archetype. Smoking. Oh yeah, well, it's fun, is cool. I'm a smoker. I feel cool. Nowadays, less and less places allowed to smoke. And the toxic archetype is, I want to quit, but I can't. And then drugs. Oh, the drug takes me all the pain away. I feel much better. So, as you see, the toxic archetype doesn't mean that it's bad. For the people, it's good. And the relationship. And I have to say, from my experience, I had the opportunity to try drugs. I haven't. I said no. I was in a group and I said no, thank you. I smoke, I drank alcohol, and I had kind of no abuse, but they tried to, but I because I knew metaphysics, they tried to stop me, saying, for example, that what I'm practicing about metaphysics is, I don't know if people will, I hope this video is alive, but I'm going to say a not nice word, but it's full of shit. And I said, look, I don't accept it. Sometimes I just keep silence. I don't keep the fight. But my attitude is, I don't accept it. And if you want to stay with me, you accept metaphysics. If you not, bye. Because we have freedom to practice the religion or the philosophy we want. And then, like everything, nothing happened and everything fixed. But alcohol, I drank alcohol and then I stopped smoking as well. So these things that you think is fine, is cool, but it's not. So you can say, you have no power over me. Once, depends. For some people, once is enough. For others, need to repeat. It's how you feel. You just say, you have no power over me. And don't give any excuses. A physical mental archetype. If you are the person who walks on the street barefoot, and then you go I imagine, this is my imagination, then you go to bed and you have your feet like this. It's, my goodness, that's not proper. Wear shoes, proper shoes, nice. This is an example. white shoes. This is an archetype. The archetype of your appearance. Clothes with holes attract misery. So from that hole you are losing money. A vital mental archetype. This is all in your mind. So when I explain a vital is a vital or a physical, vital and physical can be the same. In science, in medicine, we call proprioception. Is the sense of your body in the space, is your image of your body. It's like I'm saying, when I touch my nose, I can touch my nose and I don't see my nose. Why? Because that image. That can be your physical image or your vital image. How do you see yourself? And this is 2 examples. You are the person who doesn't care what you eat, you eating in front of the TV or watching your phone. You don't see if what you are eating is food, is proper nutrition for your body. By the way, meat is not food. Meat is cadaver. You are imagine that you are it's in real. You are eating a cadaver. Hot. Yes, it's hot, but it's a cadaver. And on the other hand, we have 2 adults, 2 kids running. Why? Because if you're a parent and you want to teach your kids well, don't fight with them. Just be you. Give example. Don't tell men, oh, you need to eat better, or don't watch your phone when you are eating. Don't do it yourself. So if you want them to have healthy habits, just cook for them, eat with them, and that's the best vital mental archetype that they can have. An emotional mental archetype. And this is what we call nowadays is well known the emotional intelligence. And here we have two examples. Who are you? Tell me. You are the lady. How is that lady? So this kind of person is, I feel like I am not able to do it, that I'm so tired, I cannot do it. And this kind of thing, they look at others that they are happy or they can do it like with envy, because they say, oh, look at that, how can they do that? The emotional. And the other type of person is, I can do it, and smiling. I woke up with headache. Don't worry, I will smile, and tell me what happened today. How is your day going? So these two type of emotions that is within you is your archetype. And a prosperity archetype, the poor and the rich. I went to a nice suburb here in Sydney, and I was driving, and with me was another person. And we were in these suburbs with beautiful houses, beautiful cars. And the person who was with me said, there is a lot of money here. With this tone, what can you see in these words? That person had a consciousness of prosperity, that I am poor and here there is a lot of money. Do you want to know what I learned from Ruben? When I go to those places with beautiful cars and beautiful houses, I am go there and breathe. to bring all that money, bring to me. I see a beautiful car in a parking. I go next to the park and I breathe. So those electrons come to me, and I have the archetype next to me, a prosperity archetype. The example I already gave you is, don't look at the bank account. Even Jesus said that. Look at the birds. They don't work and they have everything they need. You are a human being. You are intelligent. You don't think that life is going to provide you whatever you need? Of course. And this is a really good example of an archetype. Florence Foster Jenkins by Meryl Streep. If you haven't watched it, it's a must. Florence existed. She was a very wealthy American woman. She had the archetype that she was an amazing opera singer, and she sang in one of the best hall of New York, I think. I don't remember now the place, but Harney Hall, I think was, yes. She sang because she has the archetype. People, when she finished, people were laughing, and when she heard was only applause. Applause. People were, and she was so happy. You must watch it. It's amazing. And another example is, well, I'll just keep going because yes, I want to give more example, but let's continue. So we talk about archetypes. Now, the mental images are mild mental archetypes of oneself, others, and things that can be heavenly or toxic. Well, heavenly, celestial, the positive ones, and the toxic ones, the negative. So an archetype, and then we have images. And this is what Ruben Cedeño says. Do not put toxic images on anyone, because they will act according to the image you have or imposed on them. Those people will act according to what you think. And I have to say an example here. Well, I have 2 employees with the same boss. One of them saw the boss was really a nice boss, helping the person, very kind, open-minded, nice to work with, that the boss really gave her the opportunity to work. And the other employee, same place, everything, same boss, everything the same. The other employee said, no, I don't get along with the boss. I don't. Every time the boss comes, I want to run. Every single day I came to work, I had a knot in my stomach for how long? I don't know, a few years. So different images. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. My mom always says, those who lie always think that everyone lies. Okay, now we saw archetypes, we saw images. Now, Mental crystallizations are mental archetypes or toxic images that through constant repetition remain in the mind and become stagnant as eternal crystals and hinder the manifestation of perfection. Why aren't you happy? Because of your way of thinking. Change the way you are thinking, and everything else will change. And these crystallizations are like this piece of art. What is it? Do you remember? Starry Nights by Vincent van Gogh, the Dutch painter. Well, what he painted here is all those crystallizations in the mind of the person. But that vortexes. Have you seen the movie based on the book of Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol? It's another must. Maybe for Christmas, but you can watch it anyway, or read the book. Marley's Ghost. Are you aware of this? Okay, just if you haven't, just to give you an idea. Marley's passed away, and he's a ghost. And I forgot the name of the character now. What is the name? Well, I don't know if I can remember right now. So the person can see his friend, so Marley, with all these chains. For that reason, is the ghost. And what are all those chains? Those chains represent all his crystallizations, that he wanted money. Yes, he didn't want to give anything to anybody because the only thing he wanted is money. And then at the end, he passed away, and he discovered that all of that doesn't matter. So he contacted his friend. I'm trying to remember the name, but anyway. So with these crystallizations, are we going to see on the street people like Marley? No. So how can we realize about this? Do you have sense? Observe and hear. Those are receptive sense skills. We observe and we hear what others say, but also what we say. And that's why I started saying this. You need time to observe your thoughts, to hear yourself. So you need to be alone for a time. I don't know how long. And if you are with someone else, you are not going to see the change, but you can see, you can observe, you can see the person, you can hear what they say, and then you realize all those crystallizations that they have. People who think that they are suffering, and when you give them the explanation like this, like you are receiving right now, they don't want to listen. And then, well, what can you do? But you see the illness, they are suffering because of their relationship with their dad, or because of the diagnosis the doctor gave them. They have cancer, and they think that's the end. Well, what are we going to do with this? Aha! We don't have only eyes and ears. We also have mouth and hands. And these are the productive skills. So we are going to say, did I put it? Okay, yes. This decree. With God's power, I am in me, I deny, consume and dissolve this crystallization right now. Thank you, Father. Sometimes the crystallization is so hard that we need extra treatments. And we have, like we saw already last week, the violet fire. So you can invoke the violet fire, use the power of your mind, your feelings, your words and your actions, and say, I am the violet fire transmuting this situation. One more time. I am the violet fire transmuting this situation. One more time. I am the violet fire transmuting this situation. The violet fire is an energy that you can use to transmute, to change something negative into positive. Hey! Thank you so much. See you next time.